What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing an updated video that we did actually 2 years ago. So 2 years ago we actually installed this little guy here. This is the pop and lock. This allows you to lock and unlock your tailgate on your Tacoma without having to use your key and sticking it in here. Today we're going to do an updated video to actually show you an updated version of that we actually put together. So this here is our version of the tailgate lock. This bracket, this front one and this back one, are both aluminum, so they're super light and they will never rust. So this here will push in and out to lock and unlock your tailgate with your key fob. So when you unlock it, this will unlock and then you can open that. But since this is sitting on here, I'm not going to open that. But what I want to show you guys is, back then when we first installed the pop and lock, we loved it. The only thing was that this thing is extremely loud. You can kind of hear it there, super loud. So what we had to do is actually we had to put a sound deadening piece inside the tailgate to actually deaden the noise a little bit, just because it was so loud. But with this actuator that we actually found, it is super quiet. You can't even hear it really. And the brackets are actually aluminum versus stainless steel. And you can kind of tell right there, it has rusted away a little bit. Not a lot to actually cause any issues, but that's the reason why we decided to go with the aluminum. So this one here, like the pop and lock, has the same blue and green wires. The main difference is that ours is going to be full plug and play compared to the pop and lock, where you actually have to splice into your stock wires inside your truck. And that's the one thing that people did not like about this, besides that it was really loud when you actually used it. These are all the tools that we're going to be using. We're going to need a pair of dikes, needle nose pliers, regular flathead, a 10mm socket with a small extension, a 11/32 drill bit, and a T30 Torx bit. And then if you have an impact or a little drill, that'll come in handy. So this is everything that will come in the kit. First, we have the full plug and play connector, we have the harness, and we have the actuator with our brackets mounted to it. Step one, we are going to be taking all these T30 Torx heads off of the tailgate. There's going to be two different size heads on them. The bigger one is going to go on the very outer edge of your tailgate, and then the smaller one will be all the other holes. And in order to take this piece out, you just lift up and then pull forward, and then it just comes off just like that. Next step here, we are going to be removing this little orange clip. What you do is you just use your flathead or finger just to push that forward. And then right over here, there is a little white clip. You can just use your fingers to squeeze, or use a flathead to pinch it together and then push it down. Once you have that, just pull that up and move it off to the side. Next step here, looking down straight into your tailgate, you will see a small 10mm bolt. Just go ahead and take that off. Next step, we're going to be installing the actual actuator itself. What we want to do is we want to have this arm, the small one, on top. First thing before that though, we want to push this little lever down. That will be in the lock position. Go ahead and grab the actuator, feed it in through the side, and then we're going to line up these little black pins right there. That one goes there, and then the bottom one actually has a black pin as well. Then we put that 10mm bolt back in that third hole. Next, we're going to be working right here right in the crack of the tailgate and the bed. So there's going to be 2 plastic clips, one right there and then one right here. That's going to feed into the tailgate. So what we want to do is we want to pop those 2 off. Use your finger. As you can see there, one side has like a prong, so you can just squeeze that. And then on the opposite side, it has a little lip. You will need a flathead to get right in between there and just give it a twist. And that plastic piece will come off. We're going to do the exact same to the other one. So we'll pry it on the one side. We'll pull it out. And this one's going to be a little bit tighter. Pry that little piece out and then pull the plastic out. Now that we have the 2 plastic pieces out, this is the very first one that was on the tailgate. The second one was on the bed. So with the first one, what are we going to do now is we're actually going to drill into this piece so we can feed the harness through. So on the piece that's on the tailgate, we're going to drill right here, pretty much where those words are on that side. And then on the bed piece, we're going to drill on the blank side where the words are not. This is what it'll look like once you have it done. This is the first piece that's on the tailgate. And this piece is on the bed once you have them both drilled. As you can see, that text right there on the very bottom, they're both going to be upside down. And this is the orientation that we want it to be installing it in. So next, grab your wire loom, unravel it, and we're going to feed it right inside this hole here. And we're going to feed it all the way over here and pull it out of the tailgate where we took that first clip off. Then grab that plastic piece, feed it through from the back side. And you can tell it's the back side is because the back side of it has a longer piece on the back. Feed that through there. Grab your second piece. Now you're gonna actually feed it through the front. So the front has a shorter head, as you can see right there, and then the back has the longer ones. So feed it through the hole you drilled. Pull the slack through a little bit. Feed the wires into the bed of the truck, and then just leave it there for now. And now we'll go ahead and put the original wire looms back in here. Just by opening that, putting it around the harness, and then clipping it down. And then with one side, on the passenger side, you're gonna feed it in first and then clip it in with the driver's side. We're gonna do the exact same to the one on the tailgate. Once you have it installed back in there, this is what it'll look like. The new wire will sit on top of the old OEM harness, and in the back side it'll actually sit on top as well, just like that. Now we can go ahead and pull all the wire through. Once you have pulled pretty much all of the wire through, you'll be left with a green and a blue wire at the very end. What you want to do with this is plug it in with the blue and wire on the actuator. Next, we're just going to zip tie the new wires to the existing wire harness right there. We're going to put one right there, and then we're going to put another one right over here in front of this little bracket. Then we'll also go ahead and put 2 zip ties right here as well. The first one there, closer to the tailgate, and then the second one closer to the bed. Next, we're going to be putting this rod back. So go ahead and pull it up, put it back in the orange clip that back in, and then push that clip back up. So next, we're going to be working underneath the vehicle. If you guys have a lift, that's great. If not, you can definitely do this on the ground. We did this video 2 years ago on the ground, so it's definitely possible. So right there is where the harness is actually coming out of. So we're going to run this along the frame of the vehicle. So first, tuck it up right there, right next to the tire, right over that. It's gonna come out right there in your wheel well, so just run it along there. So pull the slack out. There's actually a wire right there, the gray one. You wanna just follow that, and we're gonna zip tie everything to that wire loom just to keep it nice and clean. I'm gonna feed it all the way through here. Once you have what is this called, wiring harness? Yeah. Once you have all this wiring harness pulled from here, we're gonna go ahead and follow that back here. So right there, that little silver wire, that's a heat shield for the wire that we've been following. So you just wanna follow that. We're gonna continue to follow it all the way to about here, which is the center of the truck. The little piece that we're going to be looking for is this little rubber grommet. It's right next to this plastic cover, and what we're going to do is we're actually going to use a flathead screwdriver. We're going to poke a little hole, and we're going to feed this wire up in there into the inside of the cab. So once you've found the little rubber grommet, what you want to do is we want to hold it just because it's super soft, and then poke a little hole through it. Once you've made a hole, you can go ahead and pull your flathead out, and then you can stick your wire up in there. And then once you have the majority of the showing green and blue wires up through the grommet, we can go ahead and work on the other side and pull it through. Next, we're going to be working inside the vehicle. First, what we need to do is remove the floor mats. Then we're going to remove this pillar right here. Just pull straight up, and it'll just pop out super easy. Next, we're going to be removing this kick panel. Right there is a little plastic screw you can twist off with your hand. Then with this kick panel, pull it towards the vehicle, or push it towards the vehicle. It'll come off like that to expose the connector that we're going to be using. So the wiring that we fed through under that rubber grommet is going to be right here, right underneath the seat. So go ahead and lift the carpet a little bit and then pull the wire out. We're going to pull it all the way out. Next, we're going to be pulling these white clips up. Just pull this back a little bit and pull it up. Super easy to do. And then we will tuck our new wire right next to that OEM harness. This will give it like a really nice, clean OEM look. Now we're ready to install the plug and play connector. So what we need to do is find the correct connector. We have that kick panel off, and in this little box of connectors, we'll find the very top right one, which is right there. What we want to do is get a flathead, or you can clip it with your hand, push it in there, pull it out. Super easy. Grab the connector, plug it into the female side, just like that. Plug the other end back into that stock position. Once it clips in, that's pretty much it for that. Next, grab the wire that you ran underneath, blue to blue and green to green. Once you have those all connected, you're pretty much done. Now what we need to do is we're going to close these if you haven't done so already, and then we will clean up the wiring. So what we need to do is just bundle it up, and we'll zip tie it, and then we'll tuck it away right behind that kick panel with all the other wires. Once we have that zip tie tucked away, we can go ahead and reinstall the kick panel. What we want to do is just push it towards the outside, and it'll clip in place, and then go ahead and put that plastic nut back on. Now we can put back this pillar here, just clip it down. It'll all click back into place. Once you're done with that, you will want to go back underneath the vehicle and zip tie the rest of the wiring above the frame here. Now that's pretty much done, we can go ahead and test it. So first, we'll just close tailgate, lock it, completely locked, unlock, again, oh yeah, that's super cool. Lastly, reassembly, just put tailgate panel back, and just remember the bolts with the big head go on the very outside, and then the smaller ones will go on the rest.